go. Well, hello everybody. This is Marty with Inspiring Connections, episode 7. Misty,
yes.
Can you believe it?
Yes, I can
Made
believe
it to 7.
it.
And this week,
and we're having a lot of fun doing this.
We are having a lot of fun. And this week, if you've noticed, if you get this on our site, we are doing video for the first time.
Yes.
So we've decided to make this podcast not only audio but available in video. So here we are. So anybody who is listening to this audio or maybe subscribed on the audio podcast, if you want to see us and what we look like, come over to podjam.tv/podcast. And you'll be able to see us. All the podcast episodes are right there with the show notes. Also, the audio versions are there. You can subscribe all different ways. iTunes, all kinds of ways. And so everything's right there. So our first video. And I think being this our first video version of Inspiring Connections, I think we got a real inspiring connection this week.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
For all
and a very interesting topic, too.
For all content creators out there who probably are wondering, how do you get your name or your website, your business, your product, your service searchable?
Not only searchable, but maybe toward the front, and maybe we know the big G, Google, right? You want to be on the front page or want to be relevant, right?
Yeah. So it's great to have Gabriella Sannino of Level 343 to talk about search engine optimization. She gave us wonderful tips.
Yes. Now this interview was taken from our weekly live show, our video show, PodJam TV Live. Airs every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we had her on this past Sunday. Really great tips, really great information. So why don't we get right into it?
Yep.
With Gabriella of Level 343. Gabriella.
Hello.
Welcome to PodJam TV Live. It's great to have you with us.
Hey, thanks, guys.
To have you.
Thank you.
Gabriella, this has generated quite a bit of discussion already on Twitter. We're looking at the Twitter stream now. I'm looking down here. SEO, for those who are new bloggers or new website owners, what exactly is SEO and why is it important?
Well, SEO is search engine optimization. And why is it important? It's important if you want to be relevant and found on the search engines. So just like any kind of online marketing or online video or anything, you need search engine optimization in order to be found, in order to understand, how to be found. So SEO is basically being found and having relevance.
Does that also mean being found in the first page of any search engine? Is that what it is, or just being found in general?
Being found in general. Good SEO is being found obviously on the first page of Google, Bing, Yahoo. But search engine optimization is just being found. Okay. So there's different tactics that you can use for search engine optimization. We're using less tactics and more strategy now, obviously. Just because the Google algorithms have changed so much just within the last 2 years. You've had different updates from Panda to Penguin to, things have changed since Florida. So let's go from there. Okay. So yeah, you have to understand that search engine optimization is just being found. Good search engine optimization is being found on first page.
Okay. So what are some of the important terms people need to know about and understand about SEO, especially for folks that are new to it?
Well, it's funny that you ask, because we just built a dictionary, and we call it our Robust SEO Dictionary. Which has a little bit of everything from on-page, off-page, link quality, keyword density, competitive research, page rank. These are all words that once you get into SEO and once you start understanding what you're doing, they become part of the language. So yeah, I mean, not everybody's going to know all the words, and so, which is fine. I mean, that's what dictionaries are for, and that's what Twitter is for, and that's what, reading articles and informing yourself. It depends on, how much effort you put into it, but the information's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
plus you can give us a link, and we'll be including that link.
Oh, absolutely.
In the show notes, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The show notes, so that, for people who want to learn more about, some of the terms that are really important, then they can just click on it and learn from it.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we made it downloadable and it's interactive.
Oh, great.
So it's really easy to use. You just click on the word, it takes you to the definition, it takes you back. So yeah, it's great.
Excellent.
It's fun. Yeah.
Very good. What's especially for, again, new website owners, new bloggers, what's the first thing website owners should do to make their content more search engine friendly?
Wow. When people, that's a loaded question.
Oh, yeah. We're well known for that.
Before I even talk to a client, I usually like to take a look at their website. So, we take a look at the structure, we take a look at the page composition, we take a look at something as simple as their meta tag descriptions. Are they good? Do they even have a meta tag description? A lot of people don't. As a matter of fact, I just wrote an article for Carla Young. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you're familiar
Carla,
with her.
Yeah.
And that article got a lot of, flack either on Twitter or Facebook, and meta tag descriptions, people don't use them anymore, and what are you talking about? And at the end of the day, sure, search engine optimization is for the search engine, but search engines aren't the ones buying from you. Search engines aren't the ones interacting with you. It's people. So because it's people interacting with you, it's important to talk to them with what framework Google gives you. And one of those frameworks is a meta tag description. Because if you don't tell the person what that page is in that meta tag description, Google is just going to take it for granted, and they're going to either take a snippet from the top of the page, they're going to take a snippet from the bottom of the page, wherever they think there's relevance to what that page is, they're going to do it. So why give them that? That capability when you can do it, when you can add your own meta tag description. And so I went even further and I did a little search, and sure enough, Matt Cutts just recently, stated, meta tag descriptions are important. So those are important structures for a page, meta tag descriptions. Making sure your page loads quickly. That's important.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we've had clients that, huge sites, beautiful pictures, but it took forever to upload. And so by the time you looked for a purse or you looked for whatever it was that brought you there, you're like, forget it, you're on to something else. I mean, people's attention span nowadays is really short. So.
Yeah, I've heard figures as little as 3 seconds, 5 seconds.
Sure.
And if it doesn't load, they're off the page and onto something else.
Well, yeah, I mean, just take yourself as an example. Again, depending on how determined you are and how long you've been searching. But most people, they know if your page isn't loading, they can go right back to that search and get another page to load maybe quicker. So, it's like first impressions, taking the online marketing, blah, blah, blah away. First impressions, when you meet someone for the first time, if they're not sharp or, speak well or, to me, nails are important. If they're not clean, you just don't want to talk to them. It's the same thing with your page. If your page looks like crap and it's got dirt under the hood, stuffed keywords or the content sucks, people aren't going to stay. So it's just common sense. It's common sense.
Yeah, it's not going to work very well, is it?
and again, I like your point that it's really the user. when you write something, I also did an article about SEO, making your at least your content content become SEO friendly. It's like you're not writing for the search engines. Think of your audience.
It's still got to be good content, relevant content for the people that are searching for it.
Exactly. You've got to talk to them. And I think that's where my background, because it's marketing. I mean, I took marketing back, I don't want to age myself, but I mean, I graduated in the 80s. So, I mean, I've been doing this for a little bit. And, you know, any type of marketing, you have to be relevant. And it always boils down to a psychological, you know, what is relevant and how do you get the people to understand that, granted, there's, you know, 20 million people that are selling, you know, golfing shoes in Miami. Okay. So what's going to make yours stand out? And that's because you know your audience. You're talking to your audience. You're not, you know, not to say you're not selling, because we're all selling. I mean, you know, what we're doing here is selling. You're selling your show. I'm selling myself. I mean, it's all about, you know, selling who you are and how you do it. You know, you either shove it down people's throats, and most people don't like that, or you try to spam them. People don't like that. So you have to engage them. And in order to engage them, you have to write content that's relevant. You know, and that's what it boils down to, relevance.
Yep, absolutely. Another question I'm sure you get all the time is, why am I not number one on Google? Why am I not on the first page? What's going on? What's up with that?
Because Google doesn't like you. That's what I tell people. Google doesn't like you. No. You know, it could be 101 things. And again, unless I can take a look at your site, you know, it could be that you were ranking last week for a certain keyword, and this week all of a sudden you've slipped. Or you've gone to page 3. As a matter of fact, they just had an update this weekend, Friday. And I noticed one of the things that we were ranking for, and we were number 6. And I was just talking to an associate, and I said, yeah, we're number 6, but, you know, slowly we're working our way. And I look at the search results, and we're number 2. And this happened over the weekend. So, you know, I mean, it's happening every day, and they just had an update over the weekend. So today you might not be number 1. Your competition might be number 1, and they might be using black hat tactics. They might be using, you know, atrocious link building. And guess what? They might be number 1. Get over it, because tomorrow they're not going to be number 1. So don't try to, you know, beat the competition. I mean, the competition is always going to be there. It's good. Competition is good.
I'm glad you raised that issue about the black hat and trying to kind of take the shortcuts. You might be successful for a little while, but it usually doesn't last because Google's pretty sophisticated, and so all the other search engines. And you know, they'll figure out a way to, I mean, ultimately it's about good content, relevant content, and they're constantly working
to people.
Relevancy to people. That's what it's ultimately. It's people. I mean, at the end of the day, sure, as you know, SEO promoters and SEO developers and you know, critical thinkers, whatever you want to call people that do SEO. You know, at the end of the day, it's the people. It's, you know, are you converting them? Are you building a community for the client? You know, are they on page 1 for a specific keyword, and maybe they're, you know, lagging behind for, you know, a longer keyword? You know, I mean, these are things that you should be focused on, not what your competition is doing, you know, because your competition is your competition. It's always going to be there. So focus on you, focus on your clients, focus on building your community. And then guess what? Google, you know, the updates that they're doing, as much as we all love to hate Google, they are trying to make the search engines better. You know, I mean, they're trying to make them more relevant. Sure, we can argue that, well, they take paid results and they're pushing the organic results, and they're in it for the business. You know, shut up, move on, and just focus, you know, focus on what you can do. You know, and that's all you can do. So,
speaking of good positioning on the search engines, how long does it generally take to get indexed by Google or the search engines?
You know, anywhere from 2 hours to 2 days to depending on how large your site is. I've talked to people where they'll upload something, they'll tweet it, and then they'll take a look and it's indexed. So, you know, the bots are constantly moving. They're constantly updating. You know, I mean, sure, you can use, you know, a sitemap, and, you know, sometimes we suggest companies to use sitemap, whether it's an HTML or XHTML, depending on the size. But again, depending on the size and the niche, I say just put it up, make sure it's fresh, make sure it's clean, it's got good descriptions, it's got good title tags. And you should see it, you know, indexed within 24 hours. I mean, that's how quick they are now.
Okay.
Let's just get
you have a question, I'm sure, over there.
We have Revolutionary Marketing. She says, a quick, easy one. Do you need to exit out of WordPress.com and go with a hosting company to get real SEO?
You know, it depends. If you're in a competitive niche, yeah, absolutely. But because there's only so much you can do with WordPress.com. But for organic stuff, yeah. Sure. I mean, there's so many plugins, Yoast and SEO plug, and, you know, I mean, I can't think of all of them. And they do a little bit. But again, you know, depending on your size and depending on the niche that you're in, why would you want a plugin to do the work that you can do? You know, if you can write a better description, if you can, you know, write a better title, then, you know, do it manually. It's your business. You know,
definitely.
That's a good point.
So
I think you might have some. Oh yeah, don't be lazy. Exactly. Yeah, you got.
There you go. There you go.
Do the work.
Yeah.
I always say that. It's like
right.
And there's really no shortcuts, so it's good hearing it from someone that really knows his business. Do you have another?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
For now, that's
all right. Also, speaking of other search engines, I mean, Google's not the only one. How do you generally go about submitting your site to search engines, whether it be Google, Bing, Yahoo?
You know, they have different URLs that you go to. For example, for your business, there's a business directory with Google, business directory with Bing, where you have to go. You know, you put in your address. They have to verify it, either via phone or they send you a postcard. You know, then you have to put in this number that they give you in order to be verified. You know, sometimes we advise clients to do 2 verifications, not just 1. So again, I mean, there's different places that you would use this, whether it's with Google Maps for a business, for a brick and mortar, where you want people to find you. So you would definitely put it in, you know, Google Business section. Same thing with Bing. And again, Bing does the same thing. I had to, you know, fill in some number in order to be, you know, part of the Bing business network to be found as a business. So it's mainly going to individually to the search engines. Yeah, to the search engines and following their particular protocol that they.
What's the most common problem or most frequently asked questions you get? Because obviously you're doing this every day.
Bill has a
question.
Let's
go to Bill Mitchell.
And it's a pretty interesting question. Bill Mitchell says, you mentioned metadata earlier. What is your position on metadata in media, such as videos?
Again, you know, why would you want Google to write your metadata for you? You know, anytime, and again, I'm not saying abuse those, you know, metadatas, if you will, by you know, using obscene keywords in your title and in your description. I mean, I've seen where clients come to me and they're like, well, I don't understand, you know, why we're not ranking. We've got the keywords in the description tag and the title tag and the keyword tag. And I'm like, whoa, stop, you know. It doesn't make sense. So for video, again, if you're describing what the video is and you know, as a description tag, then obviously, you know, yeah, of course, use it and use it properly. You know, was that the question? Should it be used or should it not be used? Yeah.
I know we'll hear from Bill if he has anything else, or if that wasn't the question.
Basically, there's really no other way to be discovered, just like images. Now Google has Google Images, which is great. But again, if you use a description, then it'll be easier to find that image. Just same thing with video. If you use a description, black dog, and the video is about a black dog, and the description is my black dog, and then guess what? 9 times out of 10, the black dog video is going to come up, unless there's huge competition for black dog. But videos now seem to be, taking the lead on a lot of content, which is great. Because now that's why a lot of people are using video on their websites, because content is still wonderful, but if you use video, people like that. Right. So, Google seems to be pushing videos on top of the content if it's relevant to the search, which I think is wonderful.
Well, it certainly helps that they have YouTube and everything.
Yeah, of course, that they own all of that. But absolutely, use them.
Do you have
No, we're good.
Okay. For now. What are some of the most common problems or questions that you get from clients, in your daily job?
We work with a lot of international clients. For one thing, I speak 5 languages. Parlo français très très bien, parlo l'italiano, hablo l'espagnol, vecchia árabe. So by the time it's all said and done, I already bring all of this to the table. So we get a lot of international people. And so the questions that they ask, at least for level 343, is how can we get into, the American industry? We want to break into the U.S. We have wonderful applications. We have great purses. We got a lot of fashion people, that want to break into this country. So a lot of our questions is more of a strategy of how to, break into the industry here in the U.S., into certain niche markets. Some other questions that we get from the local people is, how do I get on page 1?
I'm sure that's a popular one.
It's a huge question. And again, I tell them like I tell everyone else, let me take a look at your site. Let's do an audit. Let's take a look at what you are ranking for, why you're not ranking for others, and work on that. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be involving, article marketing. It's going to be involving, the visits that you have, taking a look at your Google Analytics. Are they staying on the site? Are they leaving? Are they dropping once they get, let's hypothetically say they landed on a landing page and they were going to buy and they didn't click, they left. So those are some questions that we have to attack during, conversations or an audit. And you'll see that maybe the call to action isn't strong enough, or maybe it took 3 steps to get to buy what they wanted. And by the 3rd step, their credit card didn't work, or their kid is crying, or, all of a sudden they didn't buy. And so one of the things that we've learned for online is not just the 3-second rule, but also making it really easy for people to buy. If they could buy with 1 click, guess what? Amazon did it, and they made billions of dollars. That 1 click through, that 1 button, it just blew them out of the water with sales. And guess what? Psychology 101. People didn't want to click through 4 pages or 3 pages and fill out oodles of information. You've already got my information from wherever. Now they're making it easier, where you can sign into different accounts using your Facebook, using your Twitter, using, because consumers want to consume. So if the business can make it easy for the consumer by making it a 1 click, or by making them join via Facebook, then guess what? That's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
So,
I guess really put yourself in the shoes of your users or your visitors and really think that through. And I mean, most people want the simplest way out. I mean, everyone's pressed for time. And even if you're talking just seconds difference, or even trying to search, I mean, it's amazing how many sites that you can't even find the buy button we discuss.
I know,
Lucy and I discuss this all the time with our sites. I mean, we're constantly looking at how do we make it easier. The people trying to find certain information, you want to make sure that when they get to your site, especially people coming for the first time, you're familiar with it, but people coming for the first time,
they're not.
Have never seen it, and you want to make, within that first few seconds, you want to make sure they know, okay, logically, how do I get around? How do I, get to the section I want to see?
Exactly.
And you don't want to make it. Certainly don't want to make it difficult.
Right.
I'm going to go off the board a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, in your logo, on your lower third there, it says 343, and I know that's the name of your company. Is there any story behind that, level 343?
Actually, there is. There's a cute little story, and we finally wrote about it. I'll send you guys a link. But basically, it was just, I feel really empowered by what I've been able to do as a woman, as an Italian woman to boot. And so it's really 3-4-3. So 3 things have happened. So, but anyway, I'll send you guys the link on 343. It's a cute little story. And so yeah, we've decided to stick to level 343.
Beautiful. Excellent. Now, I think I know the answer to this question. You want to ask this question? I think I know the answer to this question.
Yeah, but I think it's important.
But I think it's important to ask. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you recommend, you can ask it.
Because I used to work for advertising agency, and we did have our own, and I know a lot of companies also have their own departments, SEO departments, because brands are really, hiring people, experts to do their SEO. So do you recommend people to outsource their SEO needs?
Wow.
And how much do you think will a good SEO consultant
Now,
cost?
it depends again on the size of the business. Because it can, I'm a big believer in if you can teach somebody how to fish, it's better, because then they can feed themselves instead of just bringing fish to them. And so I'm some SEOs probably hate me for saying this, but I'd rather teach my clients how to be self-sustained and then come to me for consultation rather than constantly being on their payroll. Because unless it's a huge company and they're constantly promoting something new or creating a new app, or it's a real competitive niche, to have an in-house SEO would be kind of a waste unless they're using them to do other things. So audits, I always tell large clients, get your audits done by an external SEO company, and then bring it in-house and clean it up internally. I mean, if you have the SEO person to do it, but I don't advise the in-house person to do an audit, because they're not going to show all the things that are really wrong, because they should have been in charge of it for the last year and something happened. So I suggest audits, do them outside. Internal stuff, if you're a large enough company, then yeah, it's worth having an SEO if they know how to write, if they know how to do other stuff, if they know how to code, if they know how to do web development. And most SEO people wear a couple of hats, so it might be worth it. In regards to how much it costs, we have people that charge $100 an hour, and we have people that charge $2,000 an hour. Again, depending on who you're talking to and what they're doing. We're an average, we're a medium price. And again, our prices are different because we deal with an international market. Right. So we also deal with international currency. So $100 here is like $50 over there. So, our prices are, again, we're medium globally. But when you're talking about what is the price of an SEO person here versus one in the UK, it's completely different.
Right. And I would imagine it would be depending on the complexity and the value. And I would imagine there's a lot of ingredients in coming up with a quote and a
absolutely.
arrangement. Yeah.
Absolutely. We usually start with the discovery in order to find out what it is they need. If they just need, a site cleanup and maybe some link building, then we do an audit, and then we build a strategy, and then we get into phase 1, phase 2. And then at the end of the year, we let them go. We don't want to hold on to them. We want to make sure that they're fine, that they run well, and then, we want them to come back, when they need something new, and they will come back, instead of holding them hostage, which quite a few SEO companies do that, Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, man, it's been a fast 30 minutes. I'm not sure if there's any other
we're good
last minute questions, but Gabriella, it's been fascinating, this discussion.
Yeah,
Super.
30 minutes is not enough.
Yeah, that goes by quick. Search engine optimization. There's a lot of people that are new online, and hopefully people learn something new. I know I did.
I know.
Good.
Yeah, big time.
Good.
Gabrielle, absolutely. Gabrielle, it's been a pleasure having you. Thanks very much for coming on PodJam TV Live.
Hey, thanks, guys. Talk to you guys again soon.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ciao.
So I think that'll do it for another edition, right?
And watch out for next week's guest. We have Gia Marie of Gia Skincare.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about beauty,
small
and
business and beauty, and
nice.
she's fascinating. And we met her first online and then in person for the first time, I believe, out in, was it New York or LA?
LA first.
LA first and then New York. So we met up a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you know Gia, Gabrielle? I'm not sure.
The name sounds familiar, but there's so many names online. And
Gia Skincare on Twitter, and she's got a fascinating story. Small business story, and someone with a very inspirational and someone that is just keeps plugging away and doing her thing, and she's got she's a skincare expert, and she's got great tips to share. So
good.
Next week. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
So Gabriella, before we go, where can people find you online? Where's the best place?
level343.com. Twitter, I'm SEO Copy. And on Facebook, we have Organic SEO Copywriting. So there you have it.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that we'll put it in the show notes so that people can, just find her everywhere.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Gabriella,
All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Wasn't that a wonderful interview with Gabriella Sannino of Level 343, learning a lot about SEO?
And I hope that our audience learned a lot from her.
I know I did. That's
Me
for
too.
sure. Absolutely. Join us next week with another edition of Inspiring Connection. But before we go, we want to mention our sponsor, furrysketches.com. Now, this is a project of yours. Now, for people not familiar with Furry Sketches,
Furry Sketches is a site for your inspiration. It's also a place where you can order your own custom-made pet portrait.
Now, you draw those personally, individually.
And all they have to do is go to the site furrysketches.com, go to the order form.
So it's furrysketches.com/order.
Yes.
If you want to order, $35.
And when you do your order, you will be sending me also a photo.
Nice clear photo of your pet, either dog, cat. Now, we've gotten a lot of dogs.
I know.
We'd love to get some cats. I know there's cats out there. Now, we'll take
cat lovers, or even if they have like a parrot.
Yeah, and I know people have other pets.
As long as it's your pet.
Yeah, as long as it's your pet. Well, just a nice clear photograph, color photograph. And then you do some wonderful drawings from that.
Yeah, it takes about 3 to 5 business days, and I will send them their personalized, custom-made
JPEG that you can use in any way. And we also offer T-shirts, mugs, anything you can print if they want to. Yep. and we'll customize those as well.
Yeah, and we're also coming up with a new line, which is
you do some really cool cartoons.
Yeah, it's for the Catterday
series.
Yeah. Well, I'm still developing some of the other drawings, but
if they follow me on Facebook, they'll be able to see it, right? Or on Twitter.
Yes. So I'll make sure that I'll put that up on the site soon.
So furrysketches.com. We'll put that in the show notes for all your pet portraits. Check it out today. I guess that'll do it.
Yep.
For another edition of Inspiring Connections, we will see you next time.
Go.